What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Martin, aka the Boxing Purist. Welcome once again to the Truth and Absolute channel, where I speak the truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, good God Almighty. All right, y'all, before I get into this one, because I'm about to get into this one, your boy is hyped up. Your boy is fired up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. For all you guys who are subscribed to my channel, I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Y'all make this channel. You know what I'm saying? Drop a comment down below. We talk boxing in here, and we keep it boxing, y'all. We don't bring in race into it. We don't bring in money. We talk about boxing skills inside the ring, and that's it, right? We keep it real around here. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike button. It's all love. Drop a comment. Like I said, I like engaging with you guys. Listen, I'm a little excited for this video. I'm a little hyped for this video, right? And this is it. We already know what it is. We already know what it is, and I hope a lot of you guys were waiting for it because, listen, before I get into this video, could I just encourage you guys? I encourage you guys, the ones that highly appreciate that we keep it truthful here, non-biased, that we just keep it real. The truth shall set all of us free. For all you guys, please share this video. Put this video out there. Let's get this one going all over the place because I want this one to go all over the place because you know what? I am sick of the double standards in boxing. So obviously we know what it was today, right? It was the press conference for Canelo Alvarez and Jaime Munguia, right? A big fight coming up. It's not the fight that the majority of people wanted, but whatever, it's happening, it's signed, it's delivered. You could either watch it or you could not watch it. Thank God that you have that freedom. We don't have to watch it. No one has to watch it if you don't want to. And if you do want to watch it, amen, we could watch it too. I'll be watching. I know you guys are going to be watching as well. All of it is capped that these other people are not going to pay money to watch it. If they don't pay to watch it, they're just going to stream it. Maybe that's what they mean by that. Okay, could you tell that your boy's a little bit up on this one? So, obviously, we saw the press conference. There was a lot of surprises at that press conference. You know, I don't know if you guys saw, for whoever didn't see, but Munguia got, you know, more of an ovation than Canelo did. Munguia, and you know what, Munguia, he seems like such a likable dude. You know, he's in there smiling, just grateful for the moment. He's not talking crazy. He's not getting out of line. He's just taking it in. Again, he's never been a part of a Canelo fight before. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by Canelo fight is an event of this magnitude. All the cameras are watching. Every, you know what I'm saying, person that has a channel is out there. Everyone is broadcasting this. This is a huge fight. It's Canelo fighting, and guess what? Munguia is there. And I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Munguia, you deserve the fight, dog. Okay? I'll spark a little bit of controversy. It's okay. It is okay. Now, obviously, to start the fight, or the presser or whatever, Munguia came in. The crowd was a lot louder for Munguia than they were Canelo, which was a surprise to me in the beginning. But then, you know, your boy puts thought into it, and I put thought into it, and I start going back. I've been watching boxing for a very long time, so you start seeing certain patterns. You start seeing what people like, what they dislike, what sets off people, what gets people going. So right away, I was very surprised. I'm not going to front. That Munguia got, and I mean, it wasn't even close. Munguia got Munguia, the mariachis in the background. When Canelo came in, you know, it was kind of, I don't want to say crickets. You got an occasional, you know, Canelo. And of course, right away, everyone's going to jump to, oh, it's because they didn't want this fight. If they didn't want this fight, they didn't want this fight. But you know what this tells me? I've seen this play off in the past. I've seen this in the past. Now, for all you guys who've been watching for a long time, do you guys remember back in the day? I know I remember. You know, we watched boxing in my home. My pops watched boxing. It was what we did. I remember when Oscar De La Hoya first stepped on the scene. When Oscar De La Hoya first stepped on the scene, he wasn't your traditional fighter, right? And could I just say, I'll get to that. Hold on. He wasn't your traditional Mexican fighter. But this is the thing. Oscar De La Hoya is not Mexican. He is American of Mexican descent, okay? Let's just get that right. Let's just get it straight. Of course, we're going to call Oscar that and all these fighters that, but no, Oscar De La Hoya is American of Mexican descent. Okay, let's start that off. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because if y'all remember at that time and still today, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. was loved in Mexico. people buying this. Not only Mexico, but I'm getting at something. They loved him. To them, it did not sit well when Oscar De La Hoya beat him twice. It did not sit well with them. There's a reason why even then, Oscar De La Hoya was never a favorite fighter in Mexico. Even if you go back to like Mayweather versus De La Hoya, I would say the people that I saw and stuff that I was reading and seeing at the time, the majority of the people actually from Mexico were rooting for Mayweather. Because Oscar De La Hoya wasn't their traditional, you know, they like more of a Fernando Vargas when he stepped on the scene. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more rugged, a little bit more machismo to him, a little bit more all of that to him. They like that more. A lot of dudes weren't fond of Oscar, you know? The pretty face Oscar putting out mariachi albums, their girl wanting Oscar and all that kind of stuff. He just was not accepted for a very long time. Even after Vargas, he just wasn't your traditional guy. So now you fast forward 30 years, 20, 30 years later to what's going on now. And it took me by surprise because, you know, Canelo represents his country so well. And what I mean by that is that, you know, as of recent, later in Canelo's career, we see him, you know, out there promoting his drink. You know, we see him partying. We see him, I mean, we see events. We don't see him partying all the time. We don't see the guy twisted all the time. But I mean, it is a surprise later in his career when we did see when he was advertising his drink, his brand. He was out there. You know what I'm saying? He was partying. He was doing that kind of stuff after a fight, not before a fight and so forth. You know what I'm trying to say? But he wasn't your traditional guy, you know, getting drunk all the time, had a bunch of different women, you know, causing all kinds of ruckus. Canelo kept his nose clean. He dedicated himself to his craft, and that's something that's very rare for someone like, you know, of that level. Floyd is another guy. Floyd carried himself very well. He stayed in fighting shape. He wanted to be great. Canelo followed those footsteps of Mayweather. He wanted to be great. He wanted to do that. And then, you know, Canelo recently just signed a deal, if I'm not mistaken, to make sure that people in Mexico get to watch his fights for free. So he did that for them. So I don't know what the crowd, I mean, I don't see it as a bad thing that they were, you know, cheering for Munguia. But I've seen a lot on Facebook and social media. A lot of people from Mexico are not happy with Canelo for not fighting Benavidez. But in my head, again, I'm dumbfounded on this one because I'm like, y'all mad at him because of that? I'm like, add it together. What is it? Now, let's just say, okay, you got David Benavidez and you got Jaime Munguia, right? Of course, on paper, everyone, you know, they look at David and they say that he's the killer and this and that. And, you know, a lot of people, they either think or he's their hope that he could beat Canelo, okay? That's what people say. You got Munguia, on the other hand, who doesn't really call names out, but he stays pretty active. Munguia stays active. He didn't have to talk crazy. He didn't have to say nothing. The guy stays active, and that's so important. And you know what? That is something that I want to make a video on because it's getting lost, yo. We don't realize it. We see these fighters not fighting anymore. When they do that, they lose value. You know what I'm saying? They lose value. They lose stock unless you're someone like David Benavidez, who you're a superstar because you're the one that people picked to be the anti-Canelo, the one to finally beat Canelo. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't like when I say that, but listen, if you go back before his name was mentioned with Canelo, he was an up-and-coming fighter, and that's it. His stardom right now, he's popular right now doing it because he was supposed to be kind of like Manny Pacquiao. Now, the difference is Manny Pacquiao was a stay busy fighter and he was a legend. He was fighting everybody. He was staying busy inside the ring. But to those who hated Floyd, because in their eyes, Floyd was a runner, in my opinion, you just don't know the sport of boxing, but he was a runner. So, of course, they wanted Manny Pacquiao to beat him. Of course, that he was the chosen one. He was the chosen one. Finally, someone's going to beat him. Floyd didn't make the fight as soon as they can. Regardless, I think they could have fought 10 times any time. I think Floyd would have beat Manny Pacquiao stylistically. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking away from Manny. If we could please stop thinking, because I say one fighter could beat another one, how I see it matching up, that I'm dissing the other fighter. No, I'm just calling it how it is, right? So on this one, of course, so Canelo's like, Munguia earned this one. So, of course, everyone's giving him a hard time. Everyone's asking questions. You said you'd never fight a Mexican fighter. And then, okay, I'll get into that point too. You could tell your boy's fired up, right? I'm getting there. So he obviously earned the fight because he stayed busy. Of course, they're asking Canelo, but you said you didn't want to fight a Mexican. You said you didn't want to fight a Mexican. You got to understand what Canelo's trying to say when he was saying, I don't want to fight a Mexican because I represent Mexico. What Canelo, in my opinion, was trying to say by that is, I'm the face of boxing. I'm the guy representing Mexico. There's a lot of Mexican boxers, but him being the face of boxing, in his eyes, he saw it like he was carrying his whole country in his back in the world of boxing. And I mean, he was, in a sense. There's plenty of great fighters, but we're talking about Canelo, the cash cow. He's the one bringing them in. He's the one facing these other guys. He's going everywhere and facing these other dudes, right? He had a hell of a run. He had a hell of a run, but that, I believe that is what he was trying to say. But now Canelo feels accomplished, right? These next fights are just money fights for Canelo is what I'm seeing. And they're still dangerous money fights. If y'all saw, Munguia is not as massive as Canelo, but he's bigger. He's younger. He's relentless inside that ring. He comes forward. He throws a whole lot of punches. It's not, I don't know why people writing off Munguia, right? They do that just like they did with Bivol, and then after they want to attack Canelo for it, but it's crazy. So to completely knock this fight, in my opinion, is bananas. It's crazy. But that's what I feel like Canelo was trying to say that whole time. And he even said it. Yes, I did say that in the past. Yes, whatever. But now we got this fight ahead of us. So another thing, man. So my man Showbiz, the adult, okay? And I know probably all you guys are subscribed to him. Nothing but love but Showbiz. I don't agree with him always, but nonetheless, I respect the channel that he's built. He has, the guy has done an amazing job. He's entertaining, he's charismatic, and he makes a lot of good points. On this one, though, and this is where I'm going to call out a lot of channels. That's the only video I saw so far. Listen, I got no problem with people calling Canelo Duck Canelo. I got no problem with people saying that kind of stuff about Canelo. The only thing I got no problem with it as long as we keep it consistent. If we're going to look at Canelo like a duck because he chose not to fight Benavidez for this fight, it's not like Canelo's hanging him up, then we got to call this out across the board, right? Showbiz goes on and on about Tank Davis, on and on about Tank being boogeyman, made a big deal about the sparring between him and Devin Haney and whatnot. Have y'all checked out Tank Davis's resume? Have y'all seen the names on Tank Davis's resume? They literally sold him to so many people because guess what? That name, they sold it to y'all. Tank Davis didn't earn it. Okay, let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. When we talk about certain name, Barrios. Okay, yeah, he fought Barrios. Barrios was weight drained for the fight. Now we know later that there was a rehydration clause on him. Ryan Garcia was brought down in weight and they put a rehydration clause on him. Okay, Rolly Romero. Again, Rolly Romero got sold to the boxing public because although I like Rolly and he's entertaining and he makes me laugh and he could fight as far as fight, not great boxer, but he could fight. We praise Tank for beating people like that. And it's like, what did I miss here? So I'm all for people going to be calling to that. But like the Paulie Malignaggi's, the Tim Bradleys, all these guys, listen, they want to call Canelo a duck. They have every right to do it, except stay consistent. Keep that same level for every boxer, unless it just kills you and it makes you jealous that the man is the face of boxing. Right? I've seen this play out with Floyd the same damn way. Floyd could not get a nod. Now, and everyone, reevaluate why people didn't like Floyd. I'll tell you what, I was the same way until I got the inside of the boxing ring, and it changed my whole perspective on the sport. It changed my whole perspective. I started appreciating it a whole lot more after I got in the ring. And I didn't do it a lot, y'all. I sparred a handful of times. That's all I needed to look at the sport way, way differently. It's not about getting hit. It's about hitting and not getting hit. Right? So then they asked Canelo about Benavidez. Now on this one, I'm going to be real. I didn't like this answer from Canelo. I'll be real with you. I didn't like this answer. I feel like this is what he should have said a long time ago. But I get it. Where he's at, he doesn't make people happy no way. So to say this, it would have really tarnished him. Canelo said Benavidez doesn't bring nothing but to the table for him, except for, you know, he's going to be 25 pounds over the weight limit or over the 168 limit come fight night. In other words, Canelo is saying that David Benavidez is a weight bully, which, listen, y'all could take it how you want it, but I agree. David Benavidez has no business fighting at 168 just because he can make the weight. That is the true definition of a weight bully. I'm not saying he doesn't got skills. I'm not saying he's not fast. I'm not taking away from the man's arsenal. All I'm saying is that y'all would be really mad if Canelo could make 135 and he was fighting at 135. Come a fight night 170, y'all wouldn't like it. I wouldn't like it. Let's just keep it real. Let's keep it 100. I didn't like that answer. I feel like that's what Canelo should have just said a long time ago. Like, listen, the guy is way too big. At this point in my career, I'm not going to fight someone that size that comes in that way. I feel like he should have just said it. Yeah, it's not the coolest thing to say, but just keep it real. I wish Canelo would have just said that. You know what I'm saying? Another point that Canelo made, and he told the reporter right away, he's like, listen, I already went through this with Golovkin. And y'all remember in past videos, I've said it, Canelo already went through this with Gennady Golovkin. You're scared of Golovkin. You'll never fight Golovkin. Golovkin will beat you. Canelo ended up fighting the man 3 times. Of course, he lost the first one, in my opinion. He beat him the second time. He beat him the third time. Nonetheless, he's already been through this. And then he kept on going. Billy Joe Saunders, all these guys, you'll never fight him. You'll never fight him. He did fight him, and he beat them. At this point, Canelo's already established. So again, he said certain things that I wish he would have just said from the very beginning, right? He would have never lived it down if he pulled the Tank Davis and put a rehydration clause on David Benavidez. Tank, we just let it slide away. We didn't care. But on Canelo, your favorite broadcasters, all these guys would have ate him alive for it. They would have eaten him alive for it. Right? So these channels putting out stuff like that, it just, again, man, if we're consistent with it, whatever, say what you want to say. But if you're only going to hold certain fighters to that standards, you know, and I'm thinking about the Floyd, I'm thinking about Canelo, it's like, that ain't cool. That is not cool at all. So the press conference was cool. I like how the fighters were respectful to each other. You know, Canelo patting Munguia on the back like, you know, I'm glad you got this fight. Munguia stayed active, and it's going to be a hell of a fight. I'm truly convinced it's going to be a hell of a fight because of the styles clashing and the way that they clash. So I know I was hyped up for this one, y'all. It just, there's certain things that trigger me. And I may have said some things that some of y'all don't like, man, but really think into why I'm saying these things. Even y'all, ask yourself, if you're going to say that Canelo is ducking, ask yourself, am I holding every fighter to the same standard I'm holding Canelo? And if your answer to yourself is no, but Canelo calls himself the face of boxing and this and that, then you need to rethink why you're saying that. At that point, you just don't like him being the face of boxing. Right? Nonetheless, you can't take from the guy. He's already given so much to the sport. He's been a pro since he was 15, y'all. And again, there's things that he could have said different, and I agree with that. There's some things he should have just said in the open. Why not? But whatever, y'all. Anyway, drop a comment down below. And remember, y'all, share this video. Let's get it out there, yo. I'm taking y'all with me. You know what I'm saying? Drop a comment down below, man. Let me know what y'all think. The Truth and Absolute channel. Much love. God bless. And remember, yo, the truth shall set you free. Peace.